check. Check. 1, 2. Awesome. Where's my sound guy at? Whoa. Why is it sounding like this? Yeah, let me tell you why it sounds like this. We came in here, I knelt down and prayed, and then Melissa walked in the room. And then I come back from picking up Cade, and then all of a sudden it sounds like this. Man. So somebody was in this room and they messed around and they broke all of our stuff. No, it's our amp. Our amp is dying. So it's going to sound terrible tonight. We're going to try our best. Yeah, we're going to push through. Yeah, it's just the devil. I mean, we could probably pray and the amp, I believe, could heal itself, right? That's right. We're going to pray for that in a minute. Man, bang around on that, Chris. Like, bang the top of that. See if it gets any better. No, like you got to hit it like a hammer. Yeah, you work on that. All right, really quickly. I know it sounds so terrible. It does, but it sounds great online. So I said we should all just pull our phones out and we'll just listen online. Yeah. So a couple of announcements really quickly. Number one. Next week is spring break. Bang around on that. Like really hit it. No, like hit it. The amp. Hit the amp. Like, hit it. See if it helps. Beat it. Still ain't helping, is it? I know. Oh, well. It is what it is. All right. We do not have youth next week. Nobody even heard that. Hey, we do not have youth next week, okay? No youth. None. 0. We're taking spring break off. All right? That's right. Spring break, we're taking it off. We're not going to be here. It is what it is. And so if you show up, you'll have to be out there with Pastor in the adult service. All right? Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, you see, you'll be at your grandma's house. Yeah. So the reason why we're not going to be here is because Friday is Adeline's 4th birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, Adeline. But more importantly, if it wasn't for this day, though, if it wasn't for Friday, the 19th, she wouldn't be here because that is also our wedding anniversary day. 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. I'm super pumped about that. 10 years. It feels like 100. But couple other announcements. Also, on Saturday, March the 27th, that is our youth hangout. So I sent the information to your parents today. There's already a couple of them that said, yeah, you guys are going. So we're going to go up to Branson. As long as we got good weather, we're going to do the inner tube thing. And so we're going to hang out Saturday the 27th. And we will have to go kind of earlier, like 11:30, leave town, because Brenna and I, thanks to your guys' leaders, we have tickets to go see Jesus. Yes. Thank you, leaders, for that wonderful gift. So we're going to go watch Jesus next Saturday night. So we got to do it a little bit earlier in the day, but we're going to go hang out. We're going to go inner tubing, all that kind of fun stuff. If it is raining, then we'll do what we did last year, or the year before, I can't remember. But we'll go to the laser tag. We'll go do some laser tag. All right? Yes? Cade like stomped, or was it you? Wait, was it Cade? Who was it? Man, Cade, I think, whooped us. Laser tag. Weren't you the one that like whooped all of us? Yeah, it was. You were the one that you dominated. That's it. Another announcement, youth camp paperwork, I'm mailing that this coming Friday, so everybody, I've got your paperwork and stuff like that. I'm putting it in an envelope, mailing it off, and so don't forget, camp dates are July. Nobody's going to stop me? It's June 27th through the 30th, right? Yeah. And then also, spring retreat. We have spring retreat coming up, guys. I sent all the information to your parents. And so we will be having that on April 30th through May the 2nd. Oh, this is going to sound so bad. I'm so sorry, Emily. This is so bad. Okay. Today, guys, is a very unimportant day in my book. But to Irish people, it is extremely important for whatever reason. I don't know. Does anybody know what St. Patty's Day is? What? He was. Then why do we drink alcohol on a Saint's Day? This doesn't. He'll open like 29 churches? And all people do is get hammered on this day? Wow. He was a real saint. Wow. That's maybe. Could be. Could be. Could be. Who likes Black Forest gummy bears? Yeah. This is the pot of gold right here. Are you guys ready? Okay. Well, you raised your hand. So, you got to answer a question. Answer a question. That's all you got to do. Then I will be very disappointed. Okay. What is the book and the chapter of the Bible that we have been speaking on in our Lost and Found series for the past 2 Wednesdays? You don't remember. That's why I'm terribly disappointed. Hannah. I'm sorry, what? Luke 2? Quimby, you're next. What? James 3. Wait, that's Sunday school. That was Sunday school. Bethany. Oh. Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay. That's incredible. 300 churches. That's incredible. That's incredible. Wow. That is awesome, honestly. Combos. Stuffed cheddar cheese. You guys don't like combos? Combos are amazing. You love combos? Okay. What was the first parable that we talked about? What was the first parable? Yes, honey, in the back. You had your hand up next. Oh, I'll take him home. I'm sorry? It was. Thank you. We get to take these home now. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to these now. Sour bites. Crawlers. Right? Sour bites, crawlers. They are good. Oh, you want to go next? Okay. Are you ready? What was the second parable that we talked about? I know. She is. Brock, you were next up. Man, we're going to make it. Combos. The pepperoni. These are great. You want to go? Are you sure, Keaton? Huh? You're not going to know the answer? Okay. Are you ready for it? Okay. Who is the current catcher of the St. Louis Cardinals? You play baseball. You don't know who it is. Wait, did he just tell you? Man. Whew. As you can see, As you can see, not very many people listen on Wednesday nights. All right, awesome. Hey, Tommy! Nice. All right. Guys, we have given our worship team a break tonight. And so we have a special guest singer tonight. Special guest singer tonight. So she's been here before, so we're super excited to have Miss Emily back with us tonight. Yes. And so she's going to come sing a couple of songs for us tonight, and then I'm going to pretend like I'm preaching, because apparently that's what I do every single Wednesday for you guys. And then she's going to come back and do a couple of more, because guys, she is actually got a bun in the oven, so she needs a break in between now. So we are excited about that. Yes, we are super excited about that. I'm sorry, a what? A marmy? What's a marmy? Like legit, what is a marmy? Like in another country? Is it really? Hey, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Okay, well, guys, let's open up in prayer tonight together. So let us rise up together. Let us rise up. So I just want to brag on one of the youth in this room. So last Wednesday, I talked about my uncle and how he was not doing very well, and I received a text message a few nights ago asking about my uncle from one of you youth. One youth did that. I know, it's kind of sad. And so I appreciate this youth that stepped out. It's just going to get worse.
So, like he said, my name is Emily. This is Emmett. Okay, so welcome Emmett soon. So there is a line in this song. I love it, and that's kind of why I was drawn to it at first. It just says, I remember it now that I'm telling you about it. And it just says, and I don't really care what anyone thinks. I don't care what anyone thinks. And if you haven't heard it, it's Carrie Jobe's new album. Love that album. But again, one of the things that she's saying is that, I don't really care what you think about me when I worship. I'm going to do it anyways. I don't care what you think about me when I praise Jesus. I'm going to do it anyways, because there's so many reasons to do that. And so my challenge, my plea for you is that you would just worship anyways. Doesn't matter who's beside you. It doesn't matter if it feels awkward, if it doesn't sound that great, whatever. I'm just going to ask you to worship anyway, however that is for you. If it is raising your hands, do it. If it's getting somewhere off by yourself so you can focus and have that moment with Jesus, do it. But again, I would just ask you to not care what anyone thinks and just do it anyways. Before I get started, I need my phone because some of the lyrics are not on there. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Chris. And breaking through all the lies with the truth. Hear the sound of the wind. Let the roar of heaven begin. Can't stay silent, can't stay still when you grow up in power, glory reveal. No, I can't stay silent, can't stay still when I feel the ground shake, heaven invade, heaven invade. There's freedom in this place. Every heart awaken, everything is changing now. Heaven invade. Mend all depression must end, all the shame and the fear run away when you're here. Can't stay silent, can't stay still when you show up in power, glory reveal. No, I can't stay silent, can't stay still when I feel the fire, feel the ground shake. Heaven invade, heaven invade. There's freedom in this place. Every heart awaken, everything is changing now. Heaven invade, heaven invade. There's freedom in this place. the dead man to rise. It's time for the great light to shine. I hear the Spirit say, it's time. Clean white, heavenly gates, let the King of glory in, let the King of glory in, come right in, on your people's praise, let the King of glory in, let the King of glory in. Oh, come in, it's time for the sleeper to wake. It's time for the old winds to change. I hear the Spirit say, it's time. It's time for the dead man to rise. It's time for the great light to shine. I hear the Spirit say, it's time. Oh, it's time. Clean white, heavenly gates, let the King of glory in, the King of glory in, come right in, on your people's praise, let the King of glory in, let the King of glory in, clean white, heavenly gates, let the King of glory in, let the King of glory in, come right in, on your people's praise, let the King of glory in, let the King of glory in. Open up the windows, let the light. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Let the light in. Let the light. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Let the light in. Let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Let the light in. Let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Let the light in. Let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Open up the windows, let the light in. Let the light in. Let the light in. Clean white, heavenly gates, let the King of glory in. Let the King of glory in. Come right in, on your people's praise. Let the King of glory in. Let the King of glory in. Oh, let the King of glory in.
Yeah. Hey, does anybody notice anything different too? Huh? What's that? That's it. the sound got fixed. I mean, why is nobody impressed by that? I mean, like it was right in the middle of the singing and all of a sudden it just got better. Why is nobody impressed by that? I am. I mean, I promise, I wasn't doing anything over there except for banging on the thing. And then all of a sudden I said, Lord Jesus, you better do this before I'm not a Christian anymore. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, boom, all of a sudden it just like was healed or fixed or I don't know, whatever you want to say about an amp. I think that's awesome. So, thank you, Emily, for that. I look forward to the other two songs. Now, before I really get started tonight, yesterday, does anybody know whose birthday it was yesterday? It was. It was Carly's birthday yesterday. Carly, I got you a present. Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah, you're so welcome. And you don't even have to answer a question for that. Before you got here, everybody else had to answer questions for their prizes. Huh? Do you think the leprechaun just gives away the gold? Absolutely not. That's not the way it works. That's not the way this works. So, for the last couple of weeks, guys, we've been talking about losing stuffed animals, right? We've been talking about Frankie the sheep. You guys remember Frankie? Yeah, I remember Frankie. And then, right, we've also been talking about getting ourselves lost. And then we talked about last week, right, finding weird things in the lost and found, right? And literally nobody had found anything weird. We had one dude actually find his jacket, and then like, what was the other thing? I forget, but it was like not even impressive. And so here's another question for you for this week. Have you ever thrown something away that you then later regretted? What? Give me something. What's up, Ashton? Come on, Ashton. What's up, Connor? Yeah, I thought you were raising your hand. Oh. You threw away what? The can of paint? Oh, man. Oh, was that like today? Oh, man. Did you tell him he was a loser? Oh, good. Because you shouldn't call your dad that ever. Great. Awesome. Is everything in that? Great. Put them over there, please. That way we don't lose them, because those are important. Oh, that's great. Awesome. Anybody else lost anything that you later regretted? No? Yeah, that you could wear one time in your whole life. Isn't that right, Bruce? Exactly. So see, sometimes we throw things away, well, because, we think we'll never need it again. But then all of a sudden, that moment does come. You put on the perfect outfit, and all of a sudden you're like, man, where is my favorite bracelet at? Exactly. You see, sometimes that does happen. Other times, we just kind of throw it away, on purpose. Let's face it, right? There are things that we throw away on purpose, right? Because, trash, like last week, right? So let me tell you guys this story this one time. I didn't throw this thing away. But my cousins and I, we went up to Six Flags in St. Louis, all right? And so we were riding, like the oldest roller coaster there. You guys, how many of you guys been Six Flags? Yeah, like it's like that old-time wooden roller coaster ride. It's white and blue. Is it American Thunder? No, that's not it. I can't remember. Blue Thunder, maybe. And so we got on this thing, and of course, it's old, right? It's like 100 years old. It really doesn't go very fast. And so I was wearing, like, one of my favorite hats. I used to wear hats back in the day. I don't wear them anymore. As you can see, I'm trying to grow a man bun, too. And so I Zach grew one that was awesome, and so I'm going to try it. And so, I was riding the roller coaster thinking, hey, it doesn't go very fast. Who cares, right? It's going to be perfectly fine. All of a sudden, we go down like this big dip, and all of a sudden, my favorite hat was gone. You gentlemen that wear hats, you know what it's like to lose your favorite hat. It like ruins your entire life at that point. I mean, I got this hat. I can't remember. It was up in a trip up into St. Louis whenever I went to a Cardinals game, like whenever I was still in school. And so I was bummed about this. So I got off the ride, and of course, I was like trying to ask people, hey, can we go down like and search for items and da-da-da-da? You know, I mean, I need my hat back. And of course, the people are like, no, sir, you cannot go down there like and look for anything, but I really need this hat. And so after several minutes of me bawling and squalling on the ground and looking just terrible, all of a sudden my cousin all of a sudden was like, hey, dude, did you lose this? The hat just like flew off backwards, and he was just like, whoosh, and he caught it, and then he hit it. Who does that? It was torturous. I mean, it was torturous, right? I thought I had lost something that I really needed in that moment because it was really hot that day, and you got to have a hat on whenever it's hot. And so, and later on in the day, this has nothing to do with losing something. Well, it kind of does have to do with losing something. But I had been drinking a lot that day as far as like water and lemonade and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, we got done riding like 20 roller coasters, and I was sitting there, and I was like sweating big time. And all of a sudden, I'm like, boys, I think I'm going to be sick. And all of a sudden, I just like, and all that liquid that I had in me just, and then all of a sudden I got done, and I was like, boys, let's go ride another one. Yeah. So I guess that has something to do with losing something. It just wasn't as valuable as a hat. But you see, I mean, obviously, right, that's pretty funny, right? But losing things always isn't funny. It's kind of like my hat. That wasn't funny in the moment. And so you see, sometimes whenever we lose things, well, we might, you see, lose something that's very sentimental, and that's what makes us sad, like this hat did. And then sometimes, you see, we might break something, right, that doesn't belong to us. And so it might just get tucked away somewhere. I never broke a lamp or anything before, but I've seen those movies, right? And so, but then sometimes we misplaced something, and we knew it was going to get us into trouble. You know, like growing up, dad's tools. Dad's tools, guys. I would borrow something to go fix something, and I wouldn't put it back where it went. Guys, that got you in trouble. I don't care who you are. Because all of a sudden, then you'd be like, hey, son, where's my tool? I put it back. No, you didn't. It's clearly not there. And then, of course, by then you just kind of forgotten like where it's at. And then you get into big time trouble. And so, see, sometimes that kind of happens. You see, it's difficult whenever we lose something that really matters to us, though. If we were to misplace our phone, right, a lot of you, we all already know what kind of day that would be. If we would misplace our schoolwork, right, who really cares? Especially you digital kids. No, the teachers don't even check your digital work. Well, you see, whenever you lose something, right, you might feel, right, embarrassed. You might feel guilty. You might feel angry. You might feel all these different types of emotions depending on what kind of an item it is, whether or not it belongs to you, whether or not it belongs to somebody else, right? But all these emotions start to come up. And see, you might try and keep a secret from others. Because, you know, I mean, let's face it, we've all had our parents probably buy us something that was incredible, and then all of a sudden we do lose it, and all of a sudden your parents are like, hey, how's that thing that we bought you? And you're like, oh, it's so awesome. I use it every day. It's just like Ava. She's like, oh, hey, I really want a smartwatch. You're 6 years old. But for her last birthday, whenever she turned 6, we bought her a smartwatch. Guys, this thing cost $20, $14. Guess how many times she played with that, guys? Maybe 3 times. Adeline finds it, and all of a sudden she's over there just like, oh, I'm going to wear this watch to school. And then what happens? Ava's like, that's mine. And you're like, you didn't even know where it was for 12 months. It doesn't matter. It's mine. You see, that's the way we are. And then what we also find sometimes, though, is maybe we just try and move on because it's just so hard to remember that item. I think of boyfriend and girlfriends a lot of the time. I'm really bummed tonight because I got some terrible news. Terrible news that one of our couples broke up in here. And so I am genuinely sad over this. And so you see, but you try and just move on because it's too difficult to think about. It's just like whenever I've told you about whenever Brenda and I broke up and how I had 2 jobs and literally slept for 4 hours a day because, I mean, guys, I didn't want to think about it. I lost something that was important to me, and guys, I didn't want to think about it. It's just so difficult to think about that you just decide to move on. You see, so over the last couple of weeks, right, we've been talking about how things are lost and how they get found again. And so sometimes, though, if you remember, we've kind of talked about what we do and how we feel whenever we are lost. Whenever we actually get lost, sometimes it's because we didn't feel noticed. It's because we didn't feel like anybody cared for us. We feel like that we had zero value, and so we're just like, they don't care, and so you just kind of wander off. We talked about that, how whenever we mess up and we aren't 100% sure how to fix a situation, so we just kind of leave it and we walk off. And so tonight, we're going to look at one more story for this month. We're going to look at a young man tonight. A young man that, well, a lot of you hopefully have probably heard this story. Guess where we're going to find it at? Luke chapter 15. Incredible, isn't it? Luke chapter 15. So you see, Jesus, if you guys remember, he told these stories to help the Pharisees understand how they were in the wrong, how they were messing up, and how they judged everybody. And so this next one, right, this next story here, he's going to show us what it means to whenever we wander off and whenever we decide to come back. In Luke 15, starting in verse 11, it says, "And he said, there was a man who had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me.' And he divided his property between them. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all he had, and he took a journey into a far country. He squandered his property in reckless living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine arose in the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and he hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country. They sent him into his fields to feed pigs, and he was longing to be fed with pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself and he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called. Treat me as one of your hired servants.'" Man, how many of you guys have ever had to sleep with pigs and eat the same food? Hopefully none of you. If any of you ever find yourself in that situation, please come to my house. I won't give you anything, but you can at least come over and I'll hose you down. And so, but here's the thing, right? I believe that we have some common things this son. You see, he was selfish. He was extremely selfish. You see, he didn't stop for 1 minute and think about his actions of how it would hurt his family. How many of us make decisions on a daily basis that sometimes can hurt our families? How many of us hurt our friends? How many of ourselves, we hurt ourselves? You see, we're selfish individuals. And so I believe we have that in common with him, is that we find he only cared about money. He only cared about his big adventure that he was going to get to go on. He only cared about himself, not the people who actually loved him. I believe that we can also share the impulsive decision-making that he does. You see, I don't know how long he had been thinking about going up to his dad. But guys, I've been in those situations before where you kind of do this thing in your head where you're like, I'm going to go ask my dad about something or for something. And you kind of play it off and you role play, right? And you all of a sudden go to him, and how many times you get told no? This guy here, I don't even think he thought about it. Instead, he made this big decision on just an impulse, walked up to his dad and said, Dad, you know what? I want everything that belongs to me right now. He didn't ask anybody else for help. He didn't ask anybody for wisdom. He just did it all on his own and said, I'm just doing this. I think what we can also share is how hurtful he was. You see, maybe he didn't mean for these actions to hurt his dad. But can you guys imagine walking up to your dad tonight and all of a sudden you're like, hey, Dad, I want half of everything right now. And I'm leaving. Do you guys know what that would be like to a father? Someone that has cared, somebody that has loved you, right? Even your guys' mothers. Imagine walking up to your mothers and doing this, saying, hey, Mom, look, I know that you do everything for me, but guess what? I want half of everything that you owe me, and I'm leaving. How hurtful that probably was. You're essentially saying, you don't matter to me. All that matters is what you have, and who cares, die or not? Because you're worth more to me dead than you are alive. That's what he was saying. Can you imagine how incredibly hurtful it would be within this moment? You see, the son, he had safety, he had food, he had money, he was well taken care of at home. But he thought that he knew better. He thought he knew what was best for his own life. And so we find here, right, that he was dreaming of this majestical unicorn land where he could go to, and man, there would be rainbows and cupcakes and everything that he wanted. But you see, even though he imagined that he could do everything that he wanted, even though he figured he could go to Funland and ride all the roller coasters, even though he said, man, I'm not going to miss anything at home, this is what happened. He lived his dream for a short time. Then all of a sudden, all of his money was gone. Nothing left. Then all of a sudden, a huge famine hit. No food at all. Then all of a sudden, people lost all their jobs. There's no work to do. So then what did he do? He was like, dude, I'm going to go down. I'm going to work for a pig farmer. He had to sleep with the pigs, and he had to eat what they ate. And then we find that he just was in the lowest place of his life. Some people, it takes to wallow around in the pigsty before they find their lowest point. Some of you may be there tonight. I don't know. I thank God that I've never eaten with pigs in real life. But I can tell you guys, there have been a few points within my life whenever I have left the Father. Whenever I have left Him and said, I know better than you. I know how to run my own life. Just let me do my own thing. So here we find him with these pigs, lowest point. And so Jesus, what do you think Jesus was trying to tell the Pharisees with this story? See, what I believe he was trying to tell them is that he was trying to tell them that even though individuals will be here at their lowest point, will be with the pigs, there's still hope. You see, to the Pharisees, pigs are forbidden because it's pork. They didn't believe in touching it. They didn't believe in doing anything with it. And so to them, whenever they look at this young man, they think this is the lowest sin that you can possibly go. There's nothing coming back from this. And so you see Jesus right here is he's trying to say, even though this young man has found bad decisions, guess what? I'm about to show you there's hope, guys. He's trying to tell the Pharisees, guess what? There is something greater. And so we find here, 20, it says, and he arose and he came to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion and ran and embraced him, and he kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring the fatted calf, and we're going to kill it. And let us eat and let us celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate. Can you imagine this response? You walked up to your parent and said, You're worth more dead than alive to me. You run off. You haven't called them. You haven't sent them a letter. You haven't sent them Instagram. You haven't Snapchatted them, right? You haven't done anything with them. Who knows how long it's been? Months, years. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, maybe it was better. And so you start to make your way back. And by the time that you even pull down your street, they can see you coming. They start running towards you, and they're like, hey, you've come back. You're here. And you're trying to tell them, look, I'm sorry for what I did. And they're like, guess what? They're back. They're yelling back and said, hey, bring out the best clothes that we've got. Bring out the Yeezys. Bring out whatever else you guys are wearing these days. But they're saying, bring it out here. Then they're saying, put on the best ring there is. They're saying, guys, bring out the fatted calf. We're going to have ourselves a barbecue. You hurt them. You wounded them. You showed them no care whatsoever. But imagine this response. Imagine the response whenever you are there and they come running and they're saying, no, we don't care. We still love you. We still love you with everything that we have. You see, his father was still full of love and compassion. You see, a hug isn't the only thing that he did. He gave him the best that he had. The father just didn't allow the son to move back home, but instead, he was like, look, you can have your old room back. You can have your Lucky Charms back. You can have your soda back. I'm just glad you're back. You see, he welcomed him home and he forgave everything completely. If Ava and Adeline did that to Brenna or myself and said, hey, give me everything that I'm worth, right? Like now, guys, it'd be tough to give them a hug. I'd pull my belt off and whoop them. I wouldn't be running to give them a hug. I'd be running with my belt in one hand and probably the paddle in the other hand. But it's a good thing that it's not up to me whenever somebody else decides to come home. If it was Mama would be running as fast as she could, my George, and she'd have the cleanest clothes. She'd have the shampoo. She'd have the conditioner. She'd have it all in her hand, ready for those girls. You see, that's Jesus for you tonight. That's Him. Guys, I can assure you, I know some of the way that you guys live. And guys, I can tell you guys right now, you guys are living in the pigsty. I'm sorry to say. And so whenever you guys are living in the pigsty, it's not up to me whenever you guys decide to come back to Jesus. It's up to you. And it's also not up to me what He does whenever you decide to come back. Because, you see, guys, I've had friends, I've had loved ones that have wounded me deeply, that have showed disregard for my feelings. Some of those people I don't even talk to anymore. But then, like, my best friend, growing up in high school, hadn't talked to him in years, and then all of a sudden, they're coming to my Adeline's birthday party on Saturday. You never know when all of a sudden somebody might show up again in your life. Jesus is just like this father. He says, guys, I don't care how long you've been away. I don't care what kind of pigsty you've been living in. But all I want from you is to come home. He's going to be there. He's ready to give you that hug. He's ready to put the best clothes on you. He's ready to give you the ring. That way you can say, I'm a child of the King. That's what he's there. He's ready to do. It's up to you, though, not me. And so I wonder sometimes if it's so hard for us to believe because Jesus' followers aren't always as welcoming as what this Father is. There's a lot of people that get turned off from youth. There's a lot of people that get turned off from church because the way we treat them. Because the way they see you treat others. And so guess what, guys? My question to you tonight is this. How welcoming are you? If you claim to be living in the Father's house, how welcoming are you to others? Have you ever felt like that you've been unwanted in a church? I have. Guys, the whole reason why he came back, the Son, he had no idea whether or not he'd be welcomed back, but he came back because he knew it was the lowest point. A lot of youth come, a lot of people come to church. You want to know why? Because they're at their lowest point. They're looking for hope. If you're one of the people living in the Father's house tonight, it's time to show people hope. If you're one of the individuals still living in the pigsty, I have hope for you tonight. Jesus isn't going to be judgmental for you coming back. He's going to be welcoming. And I believe in this room tonight, as Emily gets ready to come back, I believe as we sing these next two songs, I'm just believing and trusting that God is about to welcome back some people in this room. You've got to make the first steps. You've got to be the one that gets up. You've got to be the one that finally says, man, I can't keep doing this anymore. Youth camp is coming up. I was talking to one of the leaders just the other day, and I was talking about how camp is coming up. And I talked to them about how God moves at camps. And I was talking to them and telling them, even at the camp that we threw last summer, just the 30 of us or so that were there, 40 of us, I can't even remember, however many of us there were, God still moved in an incredible way. Because you all decided to get up out of the pigsty. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, whenever you guys decided to do that, what happened? God put the best robes on. He put the best ring on you he had. And he slaughtered the calf. And he said, let's eat. And I told this leader the other day, I said, I don't understand how it is for those 3 nights we can have God show up, and then all of a sudden the next thing I know, it turns around the very next week we come back and there ain't nothing. God welcomes us back no matter what. He doesn't just do it at youth camp. He doesn't just do it at spring retreat. He does it anytime whenever we're willing to get up and we are willing to say, I'm going back to the Father because it's a lot better than it is here. It's your choice tonight. He's ready to welcome you back. Emily, let's sing.
says, why do I do the things I don't want to do? And when I first heard this song, that hit me so hard because it's so true. Why do I do the things that I don't want to do? And like as he's talking about the prodigal son, he was doing things that he didn't want to do. And so when I heard this, it really reminded me of the verse. It's from Paul, and he's showing this inner conflict with himself. And it's Romans 7:15, and it says, I don't know what I'm doing. Me too, most of the time. Because I don't do what I want to do. Instead, I do the things that I hate. And so what he's showing here is the human condition, and it's sin. We're born into sin. We're naturally drawn to these things that harm us, that we want to just do for ourselves. But, as he was talking about the prodigal son and how he left and he experienced the world, and it showed him that there was nothing, that it couldn't offer him anything, how he went back home to his father, and he realized that his father was the one that could offer him salvation. Same thing applies to our Heavenly Father. He is the one that offers us salvation. And then I'm going to jump down and where it says in verse 21, so Romans 7:21. So I find that as a rule, when I want to do what is good, evil is right with me. Again, we're easily drawn to that. I gladly agree with the law on the inside, but I see a different law at work in my body. It wages a war against the law of my mind, takes me prisoner with the law of sin that is in my body. I'm a miserable human being. Who will deliver me from this dead corpse? But then it turns around and says, thank God through Jesus Christ our Lord. So the same thing applies. And I would just ask that if you know the song, great. If not, I would ask that you just find a place of prayer. Maybe you are like what he was preaching on the prodigal son and you need to come home. Maybe there is that one thing that you struggle with. And you ask yourself, why do I keep going back to this thing? I know it hurts me, but I keep going back to it. So I just encourage you to find a place of prayer. I pray that this song speaks to you. And whenever you're ready, Chris.
I've been blinded by insecurity and all the pain I feel. Be the depth of me, and I'm surrounded by this fear that won't let go. If there's a way out, someone let me know. So I'm reaching out, one last plea. Is all hope gone? Somebody save me. SOS, I'm lost at sea. Is all hope gone? Somebody save me. 'Cause I've seen traces of joy that never ends. It seems so far away. If it's even real, there must be more than this. Come on and change me if it's true. And if you are for real, then help me follow you. So I'm reaching out, one last when all they do is hurt me? Why do I do the things I don't wanna do? No, I don't wanna do, when all they do is hurt me. Oh, I do the things I don't wanna do. No, I don't wanna do, when all they do is hurt me. Oh, I do the things I don't wanna do. No, I don't wanna do, when all they do is hurt me. 'Cause I'm reaching out, one last plea. Is all hope gone? Jesus, save me. I'm reaching out, one last plea. Is all hope gone? Jesus, save me. SOS, I'm lost at sea. Is all hope gone? Jesus, save me.
You guys know this one. So I just encourage you, without worrying about the person beside you, behind you, who cares? Let's just worship. You know it. And again, I just pray, there is freedom in here, so I pray that you would just worship with freedom.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Until the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God, though it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves a 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Reckless love. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Sing it out. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves a 99. And I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God, yeah. kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. Oh, there's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God, oh, it chases me down right till I'm found, leaves a 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
Lord, I'm just so thankful tonight. I'm so thankful for the love, Lord, that will never fail, that will chase after us no matter where we're at, Lord. Lord, I'm so thankful for the one. I'm thankful for the one, Lord, that left the 99 because, Lord, that was me at one point in my life. When you left those 99 and you came to find me, instead of judging me, instead of tearing me down, you picked me up and you celebrated because you found me. And then, Lord, I'm so thankful for the one coin that was lost. There was 9 other coins, Lord, that you could have had. But Lord, you searched high and low, under every rug, under every dust bunny, to find me, because I had that much value to you. Thank you for that. And Lord, though I'm so thankful for after giving me everything within my life, for giving me loving parents that raised me in church, for watching over, protecting me, Lord, and then whenever I decided to go out into the world and do my own thing, Lord, and whenever I finally realized that you were far better than anything I could find out there, I'm thankful for that moment whenever I came walking home. And without hesitation, you ran for me. You wrapped your arms around me. And you showed me love and compassion, even though I don't deserve it. Lord, I'm thankful for those moments. I know right now within this room, there are individuals, Lord, that are in the same boat I was. There are individuals in this room that are still lost out in the desert, and you're still searching for them. There are individuals in this room, Lord, that are those lost coins, Lord, that, Lord, that they have so much value right now. And, Lord, you're searching high and low for them. And I know that there's individuals in this room right now, Lord, that are living in the world, that are thinking that they're living the best life that they possibly can. They're living the dream right now. But Lord, I'm thankful for that moment, Lord, that they decide that you're better than the world, because I know you'll run to them. There are individuals in this room right now, Lord, that relationships, Lord, have been broken, that need to be restored. There are individuals in this room, Lord, tonight, God, Lord, they don't have the best relationship with parents, and I believe you're going to restore it. There are individuals in this room right now that, Lord, you're the furthest thing on their mind right now. And they're focusing on everything that, Lord, that's around them instead of you. Lord, I'm believing that they're going to be restored. I love you tonight, and I'm so thankful for those moments in my life. And I pray that tonight, Lord, as we get ready to leave this place, God, I pray, Lord, that tonight something was said, something, Lord, was sung, that, Lord, that convicts these individuals. I can say everything, Lord, there is to say in the dictionary, but it doesn't matter. I can't make the decision for them tonight. But I pray, Lord, that you would. I pray that you would show up tonight in their lives. And I pray they don't get any sleep until they come back to you. I love you tonight, Lord. And I look forward to what you have for each and every one of these youth. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, Emily, for being here tonight. Guys, don't forget, there is no youth next week. And then the next Wednesday after that will be our Easter Wednesday. And we have a special guest speaker that night. And so make sure and invite everyone that you can to be here. All right, guys? I will see you guys on Sunday. If not, then I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Good night, guys.